Welcome, listeners. I am so excited that you're here today because we are talking about how we don't have to make things so hard. And I am thrilled to have my coach, Coach Tracy, you've heard her here before, back with me. And we are going to talk through lessons that I have learned through the hard things that I have gone through in my life through this journey. And it's interesting. I keep needing to remember them because I forget. I forget that it doesn't have to be hard. And I first realized this when I was going through my treatment for breast cancer. And I got silent. I surrendered. And I just took things easier because you have to when your body is going through this little fight. And, I learned I would lift at home and I took lots of walks and I enjoyed good healthy food. And I realized I could take a nap and it didn't have to be hard. And what was so interesting, my body started to look better than it had in years. And so I'm just so excited to have Tracy here with us today to talk through, why do we feel like we've got to white knuckle it through things and how can we shift this mindset? So, if you have ever felt like you are someone who makes things harder than they need to, or if you just feel like you're white knuckling it through life, you are going to love this episode. Thanks for being here. Coach Tracy, I am so excited to have you here. And I introduced you, and I know everyone listening is excited to have your wisdom. My coach, the woman who helped me through it all. And Tracy, I think what's so awesome is that I was working with you prior to going through something really hard. And it allowed me to have tools at my disposal, and I'm gonna say, like, I sat in stillness for a very long time, but that was okay. It was several months that I sat and I felt, and that's kind of the first step, right? I mean, we're
Yeah.
gonna talk through and I, of course, have learned all my coaching skills from Tracy, so we're gonna talk together through this because I do things exactly the same way that I've been tutored by Tracy. But I was talking to Tracy about how important coaching is because we can go through life and we can learn a lesson and then we can forget it.
Mhm.
I was white knuckling again, Tracy. Like I was like, oh, go, I was going for these really hard workouts and I had to keep going. And then all of a sudden I went, and my body wasn't looking better and I wasn't feeling better. And then I went, what am I doing? I can slow down. And today I went and I did this yoga class that I never really do. And like there's a lot of stillness. There's a
Mhm.
lot of holding a pose that isn't easy, but it's stillness. And it just kind of, I was like, oh, this is such perfect timing for
Mhm.
what we're going to talk about today. And the thing that's so amazing is that when I try harder, it often doesn't do better for me. And I know we were kind of doing some fasting things, way back during COVID.
Mhm.
And I was the white knuckler who wanted to do the 48-hour fasts and I would gain weight
Mhm.
because my cortisol was getting higher. And as
Mhm.
soon as I let that go and just held off eating for a little bit, a couple hours, didn't really think about it that much, then the weight fell off. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. 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 Our hormones have such a direct connection to, you know, the results that we are experiencing, whether those are physiological results, whether those are emotional or mental results. So recognizing that, there are factors that are outside of our control that will impact our results, but there are a lot of factors that are within our control too. And our mental and emotional state is one that I think is often overlooked. And so your cortisol levels were heightened, which was keeping you from being able to lose weight. Or maybe for some people, they were the reason why they're gaining weight. And
Right.
so it's just such a good reminder that, there are dynamics that we can and cannot control, but stress, overwhelm, frustration is entirely within our control. And we have to be able to manage our thoughts and our feelings. And like you
Mhm.
said, sitting in stillness is such a great exercise. It can sound terrifying and painful to some people because sitting still is not what, our culture is used to. Um, but just sitting there, feeling an emotion and being able to name what it is that you're feeling can be incredibly therapeutic, and it will lower cortisol levels, and it will have an impact on your results. So, it may not be, the direct correlation, but it indirectly is, the root cause of a lot of our results, the mental and
Yeah.
emotional management or lack thereof. And so, yeah.
Right. And I want to say, I think it takes courage to be still
Mhm.
because I know, I mean, just recently I can get wrapped up in things and start spinning. And then I just keep, well, I'm going to fix it. I'm going to fix it. I'm going to fix it. And then I don't stop. I don't stop because you're not going to really get into using that brain of yours where you need to. The monkey mind's going to be going crazy. What's it called? What do we call that brain,
Primitive
Tracy? Help
brain.
me.
Yep. Your
Yes.
primitive, your base brain. Yep.
Yes. So we're not going to be able to use that if we don't stop.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think I almost was afraid to
Yeah.
let go. And that's, part of it too, that surrender.
Right.
Holy
Yeah.
Toledo, that was life changing.
Yeah. Anything unusual out of the norm of like our habitual day in, day out can be very scary. It
Hmm.
certainly will feel uncomfortable. We love patterns as human beings. We love patterns. We love to know what to expect. And so we have this inner narrative that says, you know, workouts must be intense, diets must be restrictive, change must be painful. We believe that. And, you know, therefore, we start living this like painful, uncomfortable, unsatisfying life because we have believed in that pattern for so long. And what I would ask anybody who's listening is to just check yourself and be really honest. Is that even working for me?
Right.
Is the go, 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 this has to be hard, this has to be restrictive, this has to, the no pain, no gain. How's that working for you? Like, be honest with yourself. And
Right.
if it's working, then okay, could there be a way to optimize your life? Like, I think that some people can argue that being like, a high achiever and somebody that's always in the grind has worked well for them. I would ask you, could there be a better way?
Tracy, amen, because I was that woman. When I think of, I thought that was working for me. That's what I did. I ran marathons. I went to law school. I was an attorney. I had my babies and I was in this and I thought grind, grind, keep going. And I almost felt proud of myself about it. I wouldn't have ever allowed myself a nap. Are you kidding me? There was you just gut it through. And it's interesting, like, why is it that so many women our age are like that? And I know I'm a hyperachiever and a people pleaser. And I think there's a lot of us out there who are.
Yeah.
Is that why?
Yeah. I think, you know, so many of us have never experienced what it's like to lower the pressure, to slow down. And when you give yourself that experience, as you did,
Mhm.
you start to recognize that it does lead to better results. And I would say that there's definitely chapters and seasons of our lives. So
Yeah.
maybe in those younger years, the grind was the best path
I'm gonna
forward.
say it didn't feel good. It didn't feel good. And I'm at the point now where I'm like, I don't want to feel this way anymore. And I
Right.
think like I thought, oh, my circumstances are going to change.
Yeah.
I have all this light in front of me. My kids are older. I'm going to have all this time to focus on my career because I never have. And you want to know what, Tracy? It doesn't change. There's just different things. There's parents that need you. There's grandbabies that need to be taken care of. And that's when it popped into my head. It's not the circumstance that's creating this for me.
Right.
It's me who's
Our
creating this
thoughts. Yeah.
for
Yeah.
me. And I liked you were talking before about getting quiet and
Mhm.
feeling those feelings. And a lot of times that can be healing on itself. But one thing that you've taught me that has been life changing is to look at what are the thoughts or beliefs that are behind that feeling
Mhm.
that are causing you to have that feeling.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's so key because if you have to change that belief, as you taught me, and when you ask yourself, is it true? Or maybe it is true. Is it serving you?
Yeah.
And those are the questions you can ask. And it's not easy. Sometimes we have to be forced to heal because our having that breast cancer diagnosis forced me into stillness. And I'm not going to say that I was numb. I'm going to say I went, whew, and I sat. And I needed that. And I'm thankful because I don't think I would have learned that lesson.
Yeah.
I wish I could have learned it without having to go through it, but I
Yeah.
didn't.
Yeah. I think, some of us, there is a trigger, like a diagnosis
Mhm.
that
A divorce.
a
Yeah,
divorce, right? It could be one of, life's bigger
right.
changes, but it doesn't have to be. And so everybody who's listening, if you are recognizing what it is that we're talking about in yourself, I give you permission right now to start moving at a more sustainable pace. That's what's really going to help you create space, space to listen, space to heal, space to grow. And there is so much research out there that supports slowing down and helping us like reflect and notice what's really going on in our minds and our bodies. That's what's going to help you gain clarity and make more aligned decisions. But it does start with that permission. If you
Yeah.
aren't going to give it to yourself, allow Lisa and I to give it. It's the difference between the grind or the sprinting or the unnecessary suffering and pacing yourself. Pacing is typically what wins. And
Oh,
so, really noticing, taking that slower, steady pace is going to allow you to notice what it is that you're actually feeling. Notice where those thoughts are coming, where those feelings are coming from, because it's always a thought, it's always a belief. But if you're going at such a fast pace, you're not going to be able to put your finger on the pulse of that. So,
mm. And what's so interesting, Tracy, with what you're saying is I think I always thought if I slow down, you die. If you slow down, you die. If you slow down, you
right.
lose out. If you slow down, you work smarter.
Mhm.
You get more done. And we got to get to talking about your calendar that I do because that's about taking the time to plan your week. So we're going to talk about that too. But one other thing that I kind of wanted to add as I was thinking through this for the listeners, one thing that I had some trouble with was judging the way that I felt. I did it for years.
Mhm.
And you can judge good or bad. I remember my mom saying to me when I was anxious about breast cancer, well, I think, everyone, I'm like, well, I don't think everyone's quite like me and spinning out. You know what I mean? Like there's, I don't need to judge it. And you also don't need to judge a feeling that you think is negative or
Mm.
bad because I have learned, like, even like when you look in the Bible, I mean, there's like, I think it's Daniel or David, and they're just blabbing to God and they're saying all these horrible, things and they get angry. And that's how you talk to him, that's
Yeah.
how you you don't judge yourself, you feel it, and then you can really look at it. And I'm such a judger because of that people pleasing mentality.
Right.
Sometimes that was a roadblock to me.
Yeah. I think instead of believing that you shouldn't judge, I would really try to wrap my head around judging is very normal. It's coming from a
Mhm.
part of your brain that's trying to
Yeah.
keep you safe and trying to like measure your, achievements or, measure quote unquote your worth and your value. It's very, very normal. What I would say, if there's going to be a should in there, it's you should interrupt the pattern of reacting from that judgment.
Yes.
So just noticing the judgment can really like neutralize and normalize those thoughts because they are very normal. We all have
Mhm.
them. And we're not trying to stop the thoughts. We're trying to stop that knee jerk reaction that often self sabotages us. So just noticing it is
Mhm.
really good remedy for any sort of judgmental thoughts. And you can just neutralize it. Of course, I'm having those thoughts. I've had
Right.
those thoughts my entire life. And what else could be true?
Mhm.
So you notice it, allow it to be there, which just giving yourself the space to kind of breathe through it. Now you'll think a lot more clearly. And those clearer thoughts will typically like take you through a more like rational way of thinking. Is that even true? Or is that even a helpful thought?
Mhm.
Like that's the sequence of events. So I think we're setting ourselves up when we try to believe that we shouldn't be so judgmental. We're human and we're going to
Right.
have judgmental thoughts. We're going to have people pleasing thoughts. We're going to have hyperachieving type thoughts. We're going to have like victim type thoughts. They're all going to happen. So
Mhm.
just notice them. That's going to neutralize and normalize them enough where you can allow it to be there and start to have a much more clearer thought process. And you'll find yourself responding versus having these knee jerk reactions from them.
Yeah. And taking the time to respond. And that's the thing that I love about your self-made you planner. I want to get into that a little bit because it's so tied into this and it helps you coach yourself every day if you use
Mhm.
it. I
Yeah.
didn't use it for a while, and that's okay. I was going through my time. But one thing that I really love about it, well, you can plan your week out and you actually get to see how much time you have. And then I just need what I'm working on right now is to look and evaluate my days.
Yeah.
What are some of the wins? What are some of the things that, I got done that worked out? And then, oops, what do I, need to look at doing again?
Yeah.
And, another part of that is you've always asked me, like if I tell you, oh, I'm feeling so overwhelmed, I blah, blah, blah. And you say, well, how do you want to feel?
Mhm.
And I feel like in my planner, when I have an event like this podcast or another one coming up, and it says, how do you want to feel? Thinking through that
Mhm.
before I sit here in front of you better prepares me,
Mhm.
makes for a better conversation. And, I think I said I wanted to be confident and authentic and fun to listen to.
I was just looking to
And
see what I wrote down because I chose this as one of my events to decide
did
ahead of
you?
time who I wanted to feel. Confident
Mhm.
was what I chose to.
Yeah. And so what is the thought that you need to have to feel that way? So you're kind of going about it in the reverse of what we were talking about before. So you're creating this life for you.
Yeah.
And yep, you have to be still. And I haven't been. I've been like a rabbit running through a hole. I don't know what is going, I don't know why I forgot that, Tracy. But I did. I forgot
Well, I'll
it
tell you
for
why. Because
okay.
'cause you're human, right? We are meant to make mistakes, and those mistakes provide the contrast. And you wouldn't be here on this podcast telling women how valuable it is to make decisions ahead of time about where it is, not only about where it is you're going to be and what you're going to be doing, but how it is that you want to be feeling. You wouldn't be such an advocate had you not had the
Right.
contrasting experience.
Right.
So it's all very purposeful. So we have to go easy on ourselves. Um, I too will put it down for a week. And it just is always a really good reminder of how valuable it is. Because that
Well,
week will get like completely out of control. I'm like, what is happening? And then
I
it's
know.
like, oh, I stopped making decisions ahead of time. I stopped taking control of how I want my week to unfold, not in the most conventional way, like everybody thinks, from a project management or a time management standpoint. It's that, but it goes beyond that because you're also planning how it is that you want to be thinking and feeling ahead of time. Like I'm pretty sure I could search high and low and you would never find another planner out there that asks you that question. And it's
Right.
so simple. It's so simple, but it puts you back in control.
Right. And Tracy, I mean, I love it for over Christmas break. I love it for a stay-at-home mom.
Mhm.
Like I think about, like, going to, like, what do they call those cookie share things? There was a
Yeah.
name for them.
Yeah.
I can't remember, but
The exchange.
cookie exchange. I remember going to those, and I remember I'd get there, and I'd be nervous and shy and trying to be and, like, if I could have prepared myself so that I could have been like, "I wanna have fun, and I wanna get to know people, and I wanna connect with them, and I wanna hear their stories."
Mhm.
Because I walked in being like, "I wonder what everyone thinks of me. Here's my delicious cookies."
Yeah. Game
So
changer.
I'm talking about, like, before Thanksgiving dinner. I did this I'm going to Arizona, and I, like, did some plan, how do I wanna feel when I'm there,
Yeah.
right? I mean, it's important in every aspect. It's a gift. It's a gift that I give myself
Yeah.
to slow down and have that time.
Right. And it literally takes like the way I use it, I schedule out my whole week on Sunday night. And
Mhm.
then every single morning I revisit my schedule and just, make any sort of adjustments that might have happened overnight. And on a day-to-day basis, then I look at, okay, what three events? I only pick three. What
Yeah.
three events that is gonna happen in this day as it unfolds do I want to make a decision ahead of time about how it is I'm going to think and feel? And so it's always obvious to me because I can sit here and look at my schedule it's sitting right in front of me and go, oh, those are the three biggies. And sometimes they're events that I'm already feeling like a little cringy about, or I'm apprehensive or, dreading. Okay,
Mhm.
I'm sorry, but who wants to go into an event feeling that way? And you don't have to.
Nope.
So pick three events, decide ahead of time how it is that you want to feel. Like literally in an ideal world, if I could pick any emotion, what is it that I would want to be feeling at that time? Because that, my friend, is available to you.
Yeah.
People just don't understand that. It
I
is
know, Tracy.
100% available to you.
It is, and I've used it, like I said before, just as much in my personal life as I have in my professional life, because even, like, going to a work party of my husband's,
Mhm.
I mean, I don't really wanna do that. Well, I don't wanna feel that way. I wanna feel like I'm excited to go, and so then I sit there and I work through it, and it makes me a different woman
Yeah,
when I walk in because I'm not thinking about I'm thinking about, "Oh, I wanna get to know you. I'm gonna try to remember these names. I'm gonna" It's so, so different and so, so, so beneficial. So,
yeah,
okay, we're gonna have that planner in the show notes because I think that is so key
yeah,
to my life, and I think it can really help you. I just urge you just try it.
yeah,
Just give her a try. If you can't get that planner, I just wanna leave some tools for people. So just, like, in the morning, write down what you have to do, and then sit. And especially if I find myself feeling an unwanted feeling during the day, just recognize that, right? That's how I started. Like, I'd be like,
yeah.
I have a feelings wheel on my website. You can have it free. Tracy has them on hers.
Mhm. It comes with
So
the book.
it comes with the book, right? There's all kinds.
Little heart.
Because sometimes you do need to look through that to really. I'm getting better at it. I've done it a while, but sometimes it's hard to really pinpoint exactly what you're feeling and to name it. And so looking
Right.
at that wheel when you're feeling it So maybe I am a believer in like little tiny steps that seems
Mhm.
to really be changing my life to
Right.
do those little things. So maybe, I mean, maybe that's enough for right now.
Yeah, yeah, expanding your vocabulary around what it is that you're feeling can be a huge step forward. It
Yep.
can be the springboard to then connecting the dots to why you're feeling that way.
Right.
But first and foremost, yeah, getting really familiar with all of the emotions. There's hundreds, if not thousands, of emotions available to us. And so, really pinpointing what it is that you're actually feeling right now is so like it's such an awakening because if you can't name it, what you do is you judge it. It's either good,
Hmm.
bad, and then you make that mean something about your worth and your value. If it's a bad feeling, you make it mean that you're bad. And if it's a good feeling, oh, now I'm good. It's like
Right.
so narrowly focused. So you want to expand your vocabulary around emotions.
Well, and I'm
It
going to
will,
add to Trace that I would sometimes just spin. I'm a fixer. I mean, mediation was my thing.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I like want to fix it. So I would spin in, and it took me having to go through something that I kind of couldn't fix
yeah,
to go to let it go a little bit and feel it.
yeah.
And then because that I always thought if I let go, I'd lose out. And
Mhm.
that's such a lie.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. And, these lessons are so valuable and, it's takes a lot of courage for somebody like you to bring this lesson forward. So all of these women can kind of skip or,
Yes.
hopefully not have to go through the same thing to learn that lesson.
Right. Well, and let's be prepared because their life has troubles.
Mhm.
We know that it's 50-50. There are things that are going to happen that are, you know, you're going to you can be prepared to deal
Yeah.
with it. And you can find like use it as a lesson, right?
Mhm.
Which is going to bring you so much joy when you
Mhm.
get to the other side to be able to look back and see what you've learned. So, I mean, I guess I just want to leave today for these listeners. I just want them to know it doesn't have to be hard and to just give yourself that time to be still because I was forced to heal. I was forced into stillness. Just be still with whatever you're going through. And a lot of times that's going to just set you in the right direction. And then you can start digging into your thoughts. And if you want coaching, you can contact me. You can contact Tracy. We are here for you. Subscribe to this podcast. We just are so thankful that you're here, Tracy. Thank you for your time on this busy, busy day
My
in this
pleasure.
busy, busy season
Yeah. My
to be
pleasure.
here. I know you have a lot going on, so we really appreciate you.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you take good care.
Bye bye.